gotten some level of funding will be tokenized. Number 3, anything that has gotten. So airdrops as things that are becoming more and more popular in crypto today, and there are several reasons for it. In this video, we'll be talking about why projects do airdrops, some of the projects that may likely do airdrops, and we'll talk about how you can be a participant and a recipient of these airdrops. Everything and anything will be tokenized. That is the thesis. So put that at the back of your mind. The second thing is anything that has gotten some level of funding will be tokenized. Number 3, anything that has gotten some level of traction will be tokenized. So note that things. Anything, everything will be tokenized. Secondly, if it has gotten some level of funding, it will be tokenized. Third, if it has some level of traction, if the TVL is increasing and does not have a token yet, it will be tokenized. And then number 4, if it does not have a token, it will have a token in the future. Now, why airdrops? There are various reasons for airdrops. One of them is ownership. When people do not own something, they do not have control over it. And if people do not have control over it, it shows that they don't also have an interest in it. So if the project does well, good. If it does not do well, good. So there has to be ownership. Number 2 thing is community. You want to build some a kind of community like. Now, one of the things that you have to understand is before the advent of digital currency, if you study the history and the attempts that have been made at digital currency, it's not Satoshi bringing the Bitcoin stuff. Where these things succeeded was when people could own the network. When the incentives aligned, that was when there was success with digital currencies. It's also the same thing with digital communities. There has to be that stuff of ownership, right? And the next thing is decentralization. You don't want the tokens to be in the hands of few people, maybe venture capitals and the rest of them. So you want to decentralize the network as much as possible. Then the next thing is why airdrops is for governance. So you want a system where people should vote, not some form of cartel. Now there are types of airdrops, but before we talk about the various types of airdrops, now another reasons why people do or project do airdrop is exit liquidity. So the project has gotten some funding, and this is one of the reasons why I told you that anything that's gotten some level of funding. So you talk about things like a wallet, you talk about other tools. The question is, how are they making money? If the way they are making money is not really genuine, it's not really true, they want to do a kind of form of airdrop in official. We have seen it in different projects. Now let's talk about the various kind of airdrops. One of them is community bonding. So these are the kind of ones that have been given to keep a community, right? And the next thing has to do with retroactive airdrops. Retroactive airdrop says, oh, in time past, such and such people with such and such addresses contributed in such and such way. They believed in us when no one believed in us. They were the ones that got us to where we are. Let us give back to them. We have the likes of Uniswap and others that did something similar. The next one is fair distribution. So fair distribution is, okay, how do we get these things in the hands of people in a way that it is fair? It could be things like maybe Cosmos chain that is launching. We can just give out tokens and all that. Now, the escape the law kind of airdrops, there are tokens that are airdropped to people. Probably the project has raised funds, and then the Security Exchange Commission is coming after them. They can shut down the project, and then they take a snapshot, and then they can now airdrop a new token. Other times, escape the law could be a project just comes and say, okay, we're not raising funds, we want to do airdrops. we the team will take some tokens and all that. The next question is, how can you be eligible for airdrops? Now, one of the things I tell people that there is nothing new under the sun. That which will be has been. So there's nothing new under the sun. So you want to look at previous airdrops. You want to study the patterns. What makes people to be eligible? Now, I will tell you this. Being active in the space comes with rewards. So what are the things you could do? One of the first things, you look for projects that have not gotten tokens. We have the likes of DeFi Lima and others. They have a section for projects. They tell you the TVL, how long a project has been existing. They'll tell you the status if it has a token or not. So what do you do if you see such projects? Use them. If they have a swap with them. If they can lend. If they can borrow. If you can stake. If you can do anything, just do. If voting, vote. These are the things, so just use them. Now, a word of caution, in many of these projects, there's something called Simbi airdrop farmers. So you will see but one person, because the blockchain space, you can create multiple addresses. So somebody can just come and create 20 addresses. And then he's funding them with, let's say, $10. And then now he's thinking that because he spent $10 to use a project, they will come and give him $1,000 worth of airdrop. The chances of doing that, airdrops are becoming harder to get by the day. They're becoming what? Harder to get by the day. So how do you prevent these things? Most of the airdrops that I've gotten myself, they are airdrops that I just checked and said, oh, you're eligible. Why? You just used something. You want to give back to the space. We have the likes of Gitcoin and all that. So you can give funding to projects that are still building, give your donation to them. Another way, if you are unable to do that, or if you can do that, is you want to contribute. I've seen this in projects. They will tell you that those that helped them, probably in that Discord, those who contributed content, those who did anything, they just airdrop tokens to them. So come in, because most of the times nobody wants to, even I as a person, I don't want to see some random person and just dash their money. I want to see how have they helped my project. Okay, because of that I am giving you a reward. Who are likely to do an airdrops? We have wallets. Now you might be saying, will wallets do an airdrop? MetaMask has hinted at a possible airdrops. Now you ask, which wallet we do an airdrop? MetaMask we do, and possibly others. Now why do I say that? We have the likes of Trust Wallet. Trust Wallet has its own token. So there is a possibility of an airdrop. The next is layer 2 networks. Layer 2 networks on Ethereum are heating up. Before now, when the sidechain network Polygon was there, well, now many of them are coming up. We have Optimism, they've done an airdrop. We have Arbitrum is in the process of doing an airdrop. We have the likes of ZK Sync. There are a few reasons why this project will do an airdrop. If you have a project that is in your niche that has a token or has done an airdrop, you want to do an airdrop. If not, now, if Uniswap had not done an airdrop, SushiSwap would have cannibalized them. The next project that we do airdrop are bridges. So as we move our assets from one place to another, there is the need for a bridge. So we have the likes of our protocol that have done an airdrop, and there are many others that could do an airdrop. When we have likes of Signals, Wormhole, and the rest of them. Now the next thing that project that I think that could do an airdrop are DeFi dashboards. We have the likes of Ethereum that helps you aggregate all your data, and we have the likes of Zappa. And then we have public goods. So the projects that are giving, that are collected funds during the Gitcoin rounds, I think most of them will do an airdrop. Some of them have hinted at that. And the next is analytics and explorers. So I believe the likes of I don't know, maybe in the future, the likes of CoinGecko. I think CoinGecko have some things like candies and the rest of them. I don't know if they may do an airdrop in the future. Why do I say so? We have DAppRadar. DAppRadar did an airdrop to any address on Ethereum. So I don't think. I think some of these analytics platforms may do an airdrop, things like DeFi Lemon. I don't know. Now the next project is NFT airdrops. So we've seen the likes of an NFT. You buy an NFT and then they airdrop you other tokens, or they airdrop you other NFTs. NFT platforms. We have the likes of Luxray that came out and said, if you have used Uniswap before, we give you. And Luxray is doing well. So I don't know if what is the situation with the likes of OpenSea, but I think that NFT platforms, marketplaces, many of them may do airdrop. Ecosystem airdrops. One of the likes in the Cosmos ecosystem, by you staking or just holding, let's say Cosmos Atom Coin or Juno Coin or Osmo or the rest of them, you can be eligible for airdrops. Now the next on my list is game airdrops. You will see games that have not launched their own token. We have the likes of, let's say, the Sweatcoin project. You can start using them, and other projects that have not gotten. That was what Infinity did. That was what the Ghost on Chain did. So you just use these projects, play with them, have some, just be getting a lot of time collecting in-game items. When this project do or get the tokens, you may be eligible for an airdrop. Then the next we have is DeFi airdrops. So DeFi protocols, swapping, lending, and the rest of them. Again, stay safe out there and contribute to the cryptocurrency.